So before I get into the lead attorney's lesson that I had with him the other day, I want to talk about Shanquella. She is a college graduate and from North Carolina. North Carolina has a big place in my heart because I grew up there as well. Now let's talk about her so-called friends. To my understanding, friends are supposed to be there for you. There's something close to being family. And then eventually a lot of them become our family. You don't have to be blood to be close to somebody. But apparently today we have to watch all of our backs. If you wasn't watching it before, you need to start watching it now because people's true intentions are not what you think they may be. And I've learned that at a very young age. 18 years old, I found out that I had to do the same exact thing that I'm about to tell you right now. It's not just for you to have your guard up 24/7. Just be watchful, be mindful, pay attention to clues, pay attention to the red flags that they're going to represent. What I'm saying is, it's all about the good in people. Just because they're your friend and just because they're your family does not mean they are good for you. Because if everyone held that title of friend, the situation in Mexico with Shanquella would have never happened. So just don't think because they're your friend looking out for you. It be the closest people to you that are your enemies. Understand, the closest people to you know everything about you. They know almost your every move. They know where you work. They know where you go to school. They know where you live. They even know your family members. So they're the best person that could do something to attack you.
It don't take that long to get naked. It don't take that long to get naked, hoes. Where y'all at? She told me I'm gonna keep it hot. You gonna keep it hot? What?
I'm gonna keep it hot. I got business suits that I don't want to wear because it's cute as fuck.
They what go said they croup.
Yeah. the one that's like mediocre is in my check-ins. I can't wear them.
Now, obviously, in that clip, it could have been a coincidence that she's walking around looking for them and they're all in the same room together. But because we've seen the other footage of how it went down, that looks like the time that they started plotting about when and where they were going to do what they've planned. Also, look at how serious they were when she walked in there. If someone's walking around saying, hey, where y'all hoes at and all that, wouldn't you laugh? Wouldn't they be like, hey, girl, yeah, I know, right? Ha, ha, ha. Ha ha, exactly. We about to get lit. Ain't nobody in there was doing that. They were in Mexico for one of the girls' birthday parties. Déjeuner or déjeuner, however you want to say it. But like I was saying, that is just a little small clip just to show some insight about what actually was going on with the dynamic of the friendship. Now, this is something for the detective to do, but it's for us also as a learning experience. Why? Because this could happen to anyone. As beautiful as that Airbnb was, why would you expect for someone to not come home? Like, it's so sad watching her father explain how good of a person she is. Look, you gotta watch this.
It was they attacked her, ma'am. It wasn't no physical. They attacked her, ma'am. I mean, it seemed like from my daughter was asleep, ma'am. You know, for all of them to be in that room, and then they come in there like, I don't know, she woke up or whatever, the way it seemed like they attacked her, ma'am. And she naked, ma'am. For a father to see that video, ma'am, because my daughter's not a fighter, ma'am. She's not a fighter, not at all. For them to do what they did, ma'am, it just seemed like it was a plot because they couldn't have did that over here, ma'am. They couldn't have did it over here. They couldn't.
Now, her father made a very interesting point saying that they could not do that in the U.S., and he is right. There is no way they would have gotten away with that, especially at an Airbnb. Airbnbs are supposed to have an equipped staff to handle all type of situations. Remember, it is not a hotel. It's not even a resort. So you have to be prepared. So if you are affiliated with Airbnb or anything that is similar to renting out a space, make sure you guys have your stuff together. Foolish people are committing senseless crimes.
We got our birthday buddy. Buddy. She too full.
Now, what kind of sick, twisted person is this? Who are we raising today? This society has to get it together when it comes to these children. Everything is not going to be the parents' fault because some of you guys are just doing what the hell y'all want to do. But parents should be taking accountability of some of the things that is going wrong. Think about how we're raising them. Are we raising them with morals and values, or are we letting the streets do it? Or are we using excuses saying that we're too busy? You can't be too busy with people's lives. You have to instill the importance of life instead of doing the opposite. It has to be repetitive. Remember, kids are not going to learn just by one thing that you tell them, two things that you tell them. Sometimes it's going to take 20, 30, even 100 times for them to get the concept and grasp it. Show them current events. Show them, hey, this is what we could have done. If this was you in the situation, what would you have done? Have them use their brain. Have them think things out. Don't just give them answers, because now it's just going to be what my daddy said or what my mother said. What about what you think? These are the type of things that we need to be doing with our children, because sick, crazy people like this will not exist unless that's what they truly are and what they want to be. Now, the guy recording that video, he is the one who was recording the video when the incident happened, and he didn't do anything. And this is what me and lead attorney were talking about, which I'm going to get into in a minute, because that was a very interesting conversation. This same guy that had recorded the incident, he was also at the parents' house saying that, oh no, it was alcohol poisoning. And he stuck around for a few days until he got the autopsy report saying that it wasn't alcohol poisoning. Now he's nowhere to be found. Now you guys may have been wondering, well, why was he there? If he knew the autopsy was going to come out different, why was he there? Because people who are doing sneaky things, they want to be around to get all of the information so they can make a move. If they don't know what's going on, how are they going to escape? How are they going to twist words around and say, oh, I didn't say that, or I didn't do that, or I wasn't there, or I wasn't here? You have to be involved. So they're not that silly. They're just trying to make sure that they don't get caught. And by knowing some vital information, it can possibly help this man escape, which obviously that's not going to happen. You see how sick and twisted that sounds for me to even explain? You see how sick and twisted it is for that guy to be at the parents' house as if he is cool, trying to be on their good side so they can say, oh yeah, this guy was always around. He was very supportive of Shanquella. No, he just dug himself deeper into the ground.
Don't get too hype at me. Don't get too hype at dating to marriage. We're thinking this out in real time, right? This is what we're doing, right?
I love it. It's cool. I like this. Look, I'm a law student now.
There you go. You're a 1L. We call them 1Ls, first year law student.
Come to school.
Yes, guys. I try to give you a perspective that you're not going to get anywhere else on YouTube. You will get this nowhere else, right? Where we can just have interesting conversations. Is there a difference between the guy watching and recording, a meaningful difference between the guy watching and recording versus you sitting in the back of the L train?
Yes.
Where that you should be treated better than him in terms of a sentence. What's the difference, do you think?
I just think the difference is for the guy recording, he just involved himself into the incident, because now he's like, okay, let me capture everything. So now he has evidence. So he is automatically involved. Me watching, I just like hear, he say, she say, and I'll report it. Okay. But it's different from having evidence.
Okay, so how long should he get in prison?
The one with the phone, 10 years.
10 years. Okay. Now let's say you were watching in the back of the train and you were so pissed off, you were like, man, let me record this and send it to my girlfriend to let her know the bullshit I have to put up with. And so now you record it. You can barely see it because it's all the way down there, but you're recording some of it. Do you think when you weren't recording it, you didn't have 1 day in jail, but now that you pulled out your phone, now it's a 10-year prison sentence? Is that reasonable for just the phone to go from 0 to 10 years in prison? Whether he gets the death penalty, I mean, you want to put everybody to death, right?
Look, I'm learning. That's what I thought, but
So what do you think? Do you think that's a pretty good distinction about why you on the L train are different than the Kylie guy recording it?
Yeah. I guess that's what I was saying earlier, just that I'm not really in it because I'm far away versus the guy there actually looking and all active, participating. Yes, I see the difference. Yeah.
Listen, shout out to dating to marriage. We have given her first year law school experience. All right.
Now you guys must watch the entire clip of my segment. That was so intense. Now I see a little bit of what law students go through. And he said something very important. He said law school is not just to learn the law, it's to learn how to think. And that's exactly what our segment was all about. Yes, I do know how to think, but to think in that type of scenario situation when it comes to what people are doing, what they're not doing, should they be held accountable? Should they have a longer sentence? Should they have the death penalty? Those type of things are things that we don't speak about. So just to retract just a little bit, I believe the person holding that camera was being very complicit. And that was my standing argument. Since he was holding that title, he, to me, was very guilty. And including the other people in the chat, I want you guys, when you watch my segment, look at the chat because they had a lot of insight in there. Everybody in the chat, there was people saying that they agreed with me as well. And then there were some people saying that I was speaking with my emotions. So when the lead attorney broke it down to me the way that he did, I now understand exactly how I'm supposed to process that type of information. Now, according to some of the people in the chat and the lead attorney, they said that I didn't do that bad. Now, there was a comment stating the one who recorded was the one who lured Shanquella into the situation allegedly. At Dating to Marriage said what she said. And yes, I sure did. Now, there was another comment that says, Lead, you do not miss. The segment with Dating to Marriage was very insightful. When I think you're going to miss a piece, you don't. Truly impressive on how you see these cases. And I completely agree. Now, the scenario that Lead put me into, I wouldn't per se have done any of that. In order for me to feel better about myself, since I am now quote unquote involved because I'm watching an act, I, as a woman, have to call for help. Now, sometimes as a woman, you can't physically do anything, but just you making that call can make a difference. Or calling a man to the scene. I remember there was a situation some years ago where there was a family fight during a holiday event, and it was a family fight with a bunch of guys. How in the world am I supposed to stop a bunch of guys? So what did I do? I shouted for my husband to come and fix it. Come and stop it before it gets out of hand. So men have very important roles in our lives. We just have to make sure that we want them around. The good men are very vital to this society because having a man that honors you, they would have protected Shanquella. It is so sad to hear that those men treated her like that. Now, what I'm about to say is the most important part of this video. Not all men have your best intentions because they definitely didn't have it for Shanquella in Mexico. They were supposedly her best friends, the men and the women. We have to learn how to analyze the good and the bad. Just because someone is nice to you and just because they're doing something for you does not mean they are for you. There are many different ways to tell if the person that is with you for the right reason. And here's one tip. Understand as a friend, you should not be arguing or fighting or having a he said, she said moment. If they know what you are about, they should know that you are good and good to them. Anytime a friend questions your loyalty, dismiss them because they're showing that they are not loyal and they're trying to catch you into the act. Anyone who talks about you behind your back, dismiss them. Anyone that is there for you 1 minute but not there the next, dismiss those people. You want to see consistency in your friendships. If they don't talk to you for 3-4 months and then now they want to talk to you because they need something, dismiss them. If you ask them for a favor and all of a sudden they can't do it or they never can help you out, dismiss them. These are little signs that we should be looking for. No friend should have none of those quality traits because those are not going to be your friends. Those are associates. Always remember, if there are a lot of inconsistent behaviors, be mindful. Those type of people are not the ones that you need to have in your circle. Always remember, as people, we are not perfect, but the good intentions of people should never change, regardless of whatever you're going through. But there are always exceptions to the rule. Someone dealing with tragic loss or dealing with some type of mental health concern, those are always things to consider. Just use wisdom when it comes to detecting the type of relationships you have. Before you pick up that camera and record a tragic situation, think of if that was you on the other side of the camera lens. You're watching someone record you in pain. You're watching someone record you but not doing anything about it. You're watching someone up close and personal taking that camera to your face and recording your parts of your body. And then they leave as if they didn't see anything. And now how would that make you feel? Let's be better as people and help people.